All right, Austin fans, welcome back. It is episode 12 of season 3 of the Austin Rugby Podcast. I'm Dustin Zerrer, and back once again with us on the podcast, Mr. Bradley Yandle. Bradley, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
Going well. I've got to go both these matches, and I've just been loving
it. I tell you what, for those who, if you haven't been watching the matches, at least we can say it's been exciting. Right, like these matches that we've been playing, like it's been entertaining. And if you've been out to the field and been out to Bold Stadium, you've been entertained out there too. Fireworks and man, what else we had? We had Paul Oakenfold.
Yeah.
God, man, I tell you what, I'll say this, and then we can start getting into it. The entertainment value for what Austin's doing, I challenge anybody else in the league to do something better right now.
It's the best possible product that they can put forth without winning. 2 7-point margin victories, exciting games that went down to the very last play of the game.
Literally,
it's the best possible product on the field you can produce without marking a W. So
yeah, exactly,
they've done well.
Yeah. So, well, obviously, we want to talk about last week's game against San Diego. Unfortunately, like you said, back-to-back weeks, we come out 3 points shy. Last week was 2 points. This week is 3 points. We do get the bonus point. 14-11 San Diego at the end. There's a lot of things we got to talk about here. Statistical wise, we dominated possession, 53% of the ball. We had 19 minutes attacking, 61% of territory. Like, these are some stats that are just like, and we're coming away with 11 points.
And I was looking at it, 63% of that ball was quick ball.
Yeah.
So more than half the time, they're playing quickly. They're playing off the base of the ruck very fast. And that's essential to score points and get the ball out to, Mooneyham, which I know you're going to go into in a little bit. But to do those things, you need quick ball. And we seem to have it. And we have a bunch of the ball. We attack for 19 minutes.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's like we're doing all the things right. I think one of the big problems, if you're watching the matches, you understand. I don't know, and we talked about it last week with Alex, and I talked about it. When you have the ball and you have advantage, we tend to be kicking the ball. Like, the quintessential, I've got advantage, I want to do a crossfield kick to the guy on the wing. I don't mind if your wing is like 6'4" and can jump through the roof, but we did it like 2 or 3 times, and we're kicking to like, and Mo was out there. Like, Mo Abdaman, great guy, 5'11", not going to out jump a lot of people. Like, sorry,
He's
Mo.
a tackler.
If you're listening, I love you, man. Then and you're great. And keep tackling and stealing those balls and playing full minutes. But when you're not, when you're out on the wing, don't kick Mo the ball. Like, I just keep playing advantage. Hope to get that penalty that we've got. A little closer to the posts, right?
And why are we not taking a free 3 points that are sitting right in front of the post to tie that game? I mean,
there's lots of times, right?
The self-management on the field too becomes crucial, because you take those 3 points, you keep that momentum. Now you're making both teams play their ass off.
Yeah.
Now you're making both teams put all that effort forth to not make a mistake.
Yeah. I can say, obviously we, going into the week before, the first game of the season with Utah, and we talked about the fact that they didn't take points when they had the opportunity. And right off the bat, first, minute 6, I think, of the match, obviously we get a penalty pretty much right in front of the sticks, and Bryce, decided, he said, hey, let's kick for post. Like, great. And I thought, oh my gosh, we've got, Mac Mason, who's an incredible goal kicker, just going to be slotting home kicks all day. And that'll be great, because what it does is when you've got points and you're constantly rolling those points over on the board, you're putting the other team on the back foot to begin with. And that's something that Austin, honestly, in seasons past and in years past, has never done. Like, we're always the one on the back foot. And when they came out this match on the front foot and putting points on the board in under 10 minutes, I'm like, all right, like, that's, I'm loving that, man. Like, let's keep putting it on there. Then obviously, the first half, oh man, that was offensive wise. I don't think that there was a string of plays for either side that was more than 5 phases. I don't know your thoughts on kind of first half performance, because obviously all the action was in the second half, minus the unfortunate, action, but
right. That like one of two line breaks they had. But
Yeah, I mean, I
as
don't
as
even know
far
how
as
many
the first half
we had 3 line
goes,
breaks the entire game. And it's not a
right,
lot.
they only had two, but one of them won the game for them,
Yeah.
and it went 95 meters.
Yeah, right.
But that's right. Second half, second half.
Second half.
So first half, it was a bit cagey. You had guys going back and forth, and I think both the teams were feeling each other out. Getting the ball through hands was a bit, sketchy.
I
And
think it's
then
been an issue this season. Like just getting we're still just not quite there. Like you and I talked about it talking the preseason matches, and we're just like so close, like steps away from having the right
yeah,
pass in the right space, man. It's like every week I'm saying the same thing.
well, what they had was loads of space, and you had forwards still coming off the side of the ruck, and you had three guys standing by themselves with one defender with 30 meters to run. They're pretty quick. They're professional athletes. Now, if somebody comes up and makes a one-on-one tackle like that, it can be done.
Yeah,
Good
without
work.
an offload.
Right. Let's try them. Let's give them a go. So at a point, those forwards got to relinquish the pill and let the backs do what they're there and get paid to do with the ball that they do.
Yeah. And I think, obviously we're talking about the team. Injuries have been a big thing for us so far this season. It's not just us; it's around the league. Like there's injuries everywhere. People are hurt all over the place. I mean, from what I hear from other teams and other fan groups, apparently we're not doing too bad over here in Austin. With other teams, are like we don't even know who's going to play this week because we don't have enough players because everybody's injured. So,
oh, wow.
But for us, I think there's still. I mean, obviously Mason Koch, fresh out of Dartmouth, basically. It's his second game and he gets a full start, 80 minutes. Like, good on the kid. Like he played pretty well. Like I thought he played pretty well. He got the Ascension Player of the Match, which was good for him. But I think those guys were still trying to link up and play the right type of game that we need to play in order to win. And that's first half wasn't that exciting. Going in the second half, we started off strong again. Really we're attacking well, and then in the 42nd minute, obviously Bryce gets injured, and man, I don't. You were at the field. I was watching from home, obviously still keeping lockdown with the misses, but we were watching, and luckily enough, you could see Bryce moving a little bit. But for those I talked to in the stadium, you guys couldn't actually see, so I don't know if there was a different level of concern there. I mean, obviously the concern was there to begin with, but it's
obviously right.
Yeah, it's good to hear that he is doing well, but that kind of it shakes you up when your captain goes down like that.
Absolutely. And luckily I'm sitting close to actually Sam's wife in the stands. And all the kids are right next to us down by Amy, and those folks, but they're on their feet, and they've got a pretty good set of eyes on her because she was able to go, oh, he just moved his head and he was moving his arms. So she did a little play-by-play for us on what she could see with Bryce.
But some good vision there.
She
did.
On
the other side of the pitch from where they were sitting.
But it was all the way across the field, and I was like, oh no, I didn't see that. I need real glasses.
Yeah, put those back on. Look again. Yeah. Well, I mean,
I'm almost 40. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
So and then obviously, we have in the second half there was, solid play from us. Like we had the try by Wapa to take it up to what is it? Oh, I just had brain fart. 8-0. And just played really well. And I thought we controlled the game. Yeah, we really controlled the game well, right? Like we had, we dominated in the scrums. Like I know one of your former teammates was playing against Wapa on there, and Mr. Bauman, the mullet man,
the mayor of Burville.
The mayor of Burville. I forgot his nickname. That's really funny. As we know, Chris Bauman, former Austin Black.
He's still Austin Black. He's never going to be an Austin Black.
That's right.
It's kind of like the Marine thing. Once a Marine, always a Marine. Well, once a Black.
Always a Black.
And once you live at Burfield, then you're ours forever.
Yeah, exactly. And so, obviously it's good to see him play. Obviously, on the other side, you had, kind of going at it, you had Chris Bauman, who's Austin Black, and then you had Travis Larson, who played for us 2 seasons ago, and you had Ben Mitchell, who was our former captain, and you had Pete Malcolm and Chris Shade. I'm like, there's so many ex-Austin Elite players on that team. Like,
Right.
it's a nice big reunion. But, getting into the scrum and lineouts, our lineouts weren't spectacular, right? We had opportunities multiple times. This goes back even to the first half, where we're inside the 22, we're attacking, and we're just, it's a knock on. And man, I can tell how many knock ons did we have. I need to go back and look at my statistics here.
I usually skip that stat line.
Because it seems like we had a lot of them. I don't even know if I have that on here. But yeah, again, inside the 22, we're attacking, but we're coming away with nothing. As far from your perspective and what you're thinking about, is it right to be kicking to go to lineouts all the time, or do we just go tap and go right for a little while and see how that rolls over?
At a certain point, you got to run the penalty play. If you're 5 meters out, you have the old play where the scrum half puts the ball on the mark. Yeah. You put a pod here and a pod here. You set up a back line and you just tap it through the mark and you play rugby from there.
Yeah.
We don't need to have a line out from 5 meters out. Like that's why you want to risk throwing the ball in the air or it not beating straight, or a good jumper getting his hand in and just tap it through the mark and go play rugby. I don't know why we need to go to a set piece.
Yeah. And again, we won 80% of our own lineouts. We lost, they stole it from us twice in 2 good locations. And then of course we had a couple errant throws. So that's, again, you just kind of keep going, okay, what are we doing? And nothing against Mason, because again, he's a young kid coming in playing the first full 80 minutes of his career in professional rugby. Like I said, played well, but I think it's just one of those things where you just got to go, okay, what do we got to do?
Yeah.
And then, talking about the scrum, we can talk about probably one of my least favorite things in the world right now, and it's the new scrum law.
Scrums?
No, I love scrum, but the new scrum law where you only get two resets and then and it's a penalty. We honestly that cost us, I think, a penalty try in the first half. We had 2 back-to-back, and you obviously you were at the match, so you couldn't hear the ref on television. But if you go back and watch it, he literally said that the scrum is not available to us anymore because it's been 2 resets. It's one of the new MLR rules to speed up the game a little bit and to go a little bit, to reduce the number of scrums. But at that time, when you are dominating a scrum like we were in that first half and driving the opponent back and back and back, and it's penalty first, and then it's another penalty, and you're saying, okay, by the third time you're going to do this, there's going to be a yellow card somewhere or a penalty try. Right. And, if we're 5 meters out. And so I think at that point, I was just kind of saying this law is ridiculous. I wasn't the only one, but
I don't like that.
You're a forward, so you understand. I'm a forward. I was a forward.
if we want to take our penalty and we are owning the scrum and we know that's a weapon, then you're taking one of our weapons away from us.
Yeah.
Because you want to speed up the game, that's fine. If they would like to speed up the game, how about you stay on your feet? Let's get the scrum done properly, and then we can play rugby, right? But if you can't do it and you can't perform there, then I am going to exploit that weakness.
Yeah.
So I think referees need to have that. It can't just be 2 and done. If it's a weapon and penalties are happening, you got to keep letting them do it.
And I think this is one of the new 4 rules that MLR has instituted for this season as a trial. And I think, there's been an uproar on social media. It wasn't just our match. There were other matches that the scrum rule was just kind of like, well, why? Like, why is this happening? Again, they want that faster paced game. They want it to be, not so much, resetting scrums and whatnot. Like, that's fine. I understand that. But when it comes down to it, it really penalizes a strong scrummaging team, but it benefits a team that says, well, maybe we're not that great in the scrum, or we don't need to focus on it so much because we're only going to have 2, and then we can just work on our line out and they'll kick it and we'll just try to go steal a line out. And so that's kind of, that's that opportunity where you're saying, well, okay, well, I guess, it benefits the weaker scrum now.
Right. And as rugby players, we build that tool belt, and then now you've just taken one of my tools away.
Well, especially when you've got a strong scrum, like we had, in the match, you had Wappa and Patty Ryan, who were, they played really well. We'll get to it. Like, Wappa was obviously, he was one of the players of the week for MLR last week, along with Connor Mooneyham. But I think that's just one of those, I don't know. It's me getting on my soapbox about this stupid scrum law, and I just because I've got a platform because I can record a podcast.
Right, exactly. So
I mean,
you're
you can
going to hear
record
what
your
I have to
podcast and
say.
tell me if you like it or not, but I don't, whatever.
Heard that.
So
One of the
yeah, I'm gonna get off
one
my
of,
soapbox
one of the
now.
things, and I'll kind of switch gears with you. One of the things that stood out to me, Legion and the AGs both had 85% tackle rates, which is ideal.
Yeah.
When you're setting it, you want 85% and above.
Yep.
But the one thing that stuck out to me is that we only had 2 tackle assists.
Yeah.
We're making one-up tackles every time. So we're making 167 tackles. All of them are by themselves. And that's no way to conserve energy, play smart attacking defense. I mean, it should be a one-up tackle every time.
Yeah.
If I can get my arms around you, I should have a friend coming with you to go
Well,
make sure you don't offload or make sure that you can't get the ball away or tie it up or do whatever needs to happen.
And it gives you the opportunity. If you're, there's both pros and like if we're making one-off tackles, that means you're keeping it for your partner next to you, your right and your left to be able to make other tackles on those one-on-ones. But also if that's a good thing. But at the same time, if you're doing if you've got a tackle assists and you're there, one of those guys can try to poach the ball. We didn't have that many takeaways. I think we only had one.
No, they had 17 turnovers. They turned the ball over 17 times. I don't know if we took it or not, but they had 17 turnovers.
Okay, I missed that one. See, that's why 2 people do this, because we're not professionals right now, and we haven't had time to look over. It's like I've got a job.
7 pages of stats.
Oh, there's more than that.
It's impressive.
You just have the short version of it.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. So obviously, I don't know if you can think about what we did this with Alex last week, and I'll do this. It's like, what are your top 3 things that you would take? Your top or your bottom 3 things that you'll take away. Like, what are the worst 3 things? Your 3 ups or 3 downs. Like, what are 3 negatives that you took out of the match? And we'll go 3 positives here in a minute. Start with the bad first, always end in the good.
Okay. I guess this is kind of maybe a cop out a little bit, but the fact that it's been a losing effort to lose 2 games by a combined 5 points.
5 points.
It's tough.
Right? It hurts.
It does. So essentially, we are playing the type of winning rugby we need to play. It's just finishing, right, and closing the deal. So I guess game management would be my other negative. Maybe kicking the 3 points, letting the scoreboard roll over when you need it to roll over, gain momentum, and gain confidence with your players. Yeah. Even if you're kicking 3 and you get the ball right back, and let's go. All right, let's go do it again. Yeah. And then the third one would be the lack of width, really. We're talking about, having Connor out there on the wings, Waters, when he has a chance to get out there, he's electric and has been very good under the high ball this year. We got to get those guys the ball.
Yeah. I will agree with you on that one. That was one of mine. Like, I felt when I think Cole Davis had a better game this week than he did the first week. Like, he played well. Like, I felt like he was more active. He was more involved. He got the ball. I felt though when Roderick got the ball, he was explosive. He trucked people. Like, and that's I made this analogy last week to Alex, who's younger, probably never watched him play, but Roderick is like like Walter Payton. Like, if you ever watched Walter Payton run the football, he would be on the sideline and he'd cut in to hit people. I say it again. I'm repeating myself from last week, but man, he just runs people over. So that's kind of exciting.
He's looking for contact. He's not afraid of contact. He's looking for it. And if you think he's going to try to sidestep you, he's probably not. He's probably just going to get you center massed and then just run straight through you.
Yeah. And I think that, from my standpoint, the whole thing, my downfalls are, again, losing by so many points again, not taking points when we need to take points. I think it's getting closer to getting the link up that we need to the wing. Like, we need to get the ball. Get the ball out to the guys who are explosive. Connor Mooneyham, who's coming up on the podcast here very shortly in our interview this week.
Very nice.
I know, right? How fortuitous. It's like I planned that. But he's got like 168 meters on 12 or 13 runs so far this year. It's something like 13 or 18 meters a run. Like, that is 10 line breaks, 6 offloads or like something like that. Again, I'm pulling it because I'm not looking at it. Just pulling it.
So we
from
need to do that more
yeah.
often.
Yeah, right.
I mean, let's
Get
not
it up to
overwork the
him.
man. Let's not strap
Yeah.
him down with carrying the whole team. But let's get him some more touches.
Yeah,
He's only touched the
exactly.
ball 14 times in 2 games. Then we
Right?
should try to get the ball out to the 5-meter channel a little bit more.
Exactly. And I think that
And Mo, we love you. You're a tackling machine. You made 20 tackles, but if you don't stop hanging out in the 5-meter channel like you're a wing, we're going to get upset with you. And I'm going to start yelling at you from the sideline. Get
20,
your butt back
20.
in there. Get your breath. Get your. If you're blowing it out your back end a little bit, it's all good, man. But stop hanging out there on the wing like you're Connor or one of these quick guys. If you're forward and you have a scrum cap on, go play rugby.
I know.
There's my soapbox.
There you go. There you go. Mo and Dom, man, 29 and 19 tackles made. Like
is incredible. The work rate is phenomenal.
Dom Bailey
and I can see it. If you want to get a breather,
too.
Oh, he did, yeah.
Yeah, so that was, so I mean, Dominic Bailey had a great game. And like I said, we're down quite a few people because of injuries, but the guys who were, this will say something for the depth of teams, right? Like, that's one of my positives. Like, yes, we have not played well, but we also, we haven't played well in certain aspects of the game, but we played well overall. You can see the improvement from week 1 to week 2 for sure, hands down. Like, I thought we played extremely well this past week. We just didn't take the points when we should have gotten them, and we had shot ourselves in the foot a few times in the first half when we're inside that attacking 22. Attacking minutes inside the 22, it was probably was high. I pulled it. I flipped pages.
We got shot in the foot too. That I told you. We talked earlier. That maul did not stop.
All right, so let's talk about a negative here. Not negative on the team, but let's talk about the penalty. Travis Larson, former Austin Elite player. That at the end of the game, I get what is like 70. Was it the 73rd minute, something like that, when it happened? I'll have to actually. I can go. Give me 2 seconds here. It was in.
I think it was around 74th to 75th because after that, the referee just started waving his arms in the air and blowing his whistle, and I was getting upset.
77th minute. We get a line later. We drive, and we are rolling to the try zone. Like, I mean, we were just, and Travis comes around intentionally from the side and takes down, the maul completely. The ref then awards a penalty, not a penalty try, which is what it should have been. Like the momentum that we had going there was penalty try. Like, it was cynical play. It was within 5 meters. It was attacking, and it was bullshit.
It was clear as day. It was also clear as that. I could actually see that from my, even though it was that side of the field, I could still see it.
Yeah, right.
Right.
So, I mean,
still able to.
I don't, I find it hard to believe that there wasn't input from the AR. We have no TMO, right? So there's no TMO in Major League Rugby. But from the AR, the fact that the AR couldn't say, couldn't step in and say, "Are you sure that it's just that should have been a penalty try?"
And it was Butch and Cat on the touch, like they take the head spot and they do a lot of good work in Texas rugby. But I don't know why they couldn't have said something about it, because
I don't know if they could say something about it, but I think it was tough to see, like, just kind of going, man, I don't know. It's
everybody's got to get back into the season. Everybody, including the referees.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Everybody's
got to get back into it.
We can't blame it on that one play, right?
No, of course not. But you gotta feel a little.
It's a big one.
Shortchanged. Yeah. You got to feel a little shortchanged when you are rolling. I mean, I don't know what he even called. I'm not even sure if he said it stopped and then we obstruction. Like, what was
I don't know. We had the obstruction, the truck and trailer that happened at the end too, when Mason Cook thought he had scored a try, but it was truck and trailer. So again,
it's bulletin board material. Those guys are going to use it for this week, and now they've seen the SaberCats a lot, and they're coming to town, and they know they've been playing well, and I think that they're going to use that Saturday.
They played well. I say we've been playing well. SaberCats didn't play well. They got their doors blown off.
Oh, no. I don't know anything about them other than their colors and a couple of their players.
So, obviously, I picked my 3 players in the match. I don't know if you haven't had time, don't worry about it. It's just something I did last week. It's the Gilgroniak players of the game. Obviously, I had Wappa. Wappa had a hell of a match. His scrummaging was on point. He just a
Mhm.
monster. Scored the only try for us. He was great. Connor Mooneyham, again, I think he's getting close to just being one of those players that you want to get the ball to every single time. We kind of
Right.
talked about, like, Jeff Hassler was going to be on that wing. He's out injured. Boy, Connor has certainly stepped up.
Mhm.
My third player of the match, and it must have been people playing with the last name M, because I actually had Mac Mason as my third player, because he played the whole match, and I just felt like Mac at fly half got into space that was fantastic. Like, he was just
Mhm.
cutting. Like, he was able to make people miss tackles. He was able to throw a fake, get good meters gained, break the line, and played well. My one player, who I can't give him my top three because he only played 18 minutes, but I want to point out a few stats here. So my man Jake Turnbull, fan of the podcast, been on the podcast, came in 18 minutes to play. He had 68 meters running on, I believe
Let
it
him
was on,
loose. Let him loose.
I believe it was on eight. This is tight head prop, y'all. 68 meters running on
Yeah.
eight carries. Like, so he
Big
was,
man.
yeah, he was rolling.
He was hungry for the pill.
He was,
hungry.
man. I think it was, I want to say it was 8 carries. Anyway, the ball, yeah, Jake Turnbull, 8 carries, 68 meters in 18 minutes, and he had a dominant tackle that led to a turnover. Putting in the
Right.
work, my man. Putting in the work.
Impact subs.
There
You
you
have
go,
to.
man.
You have
Do
to
it.
with impact subs. And I'll give my one man of the match. And it's got to be Mo. I mean, the guy he's turning balls over. He's getting in the rucks. He's smart because if you're new to rugby, we have to release a tackle player when we tackle them.
Yep.
But if I don't ever tackle you and I don't ever touch you, then I don't have to release you.
Yeah.
Right. And Mo is very keen on that. And he sees it's the David Pocock thing, where David Pocock could read where someone's about to fall down and he runs up right to next to the mark and then you fall down,
He
ball's
waits.
mine.
Yeah, he'd wait till you fell down. He wouldn't tackle you. He'd wait till you fell down.
Right. Because I don't have to release you if I don't touch you.
There you go.
And Mo has figured that out, and he is getting involved, and he is putting his hands on balls. He's winning rights to the ball, and that's a big positive game changer that gets things. It gets the blood boiling. You feel good when you do stuff like that. It gets everybody excited, and so that man keeps making 20 tackles a game. He's going to be tough to dethrone for me as man of the match.
There you go. There you go. Well, that's all we got for talking about last week's game. We're going to take a short break, and we're going to come back with one of the stars of the game, Mr. Connor Mooneyham. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the show, Austin fans. Really appreciate you joining us. As we said, Alex and I talked about, another tough week. Coming so close, it just seems like it's a constant thing, and it's really hard. There have been key moments and key players for us that have stood out in each one of those games. San Diego, there were a couple key plays, just could have gone either way. Mason Cook got named, the Ascension Player of the Match, which was great. We also had two of the guys from the squad make it to the MLR 15 Team of the Week, and we've got one of those guys coming on to join us. He is the number 1 overall pick, the first draft pick twice, actually, and according to Mr. Dan Power, the only professional sports player to be drafted number 1 twice within the same year, Mr. Connor Mooneyham. Connor, welcome to the show, man.
How's it going, Dustin?
Going well. So, obviously it's been a whirlwind for you for the past, we'll go back to how long has it been since the first ever MLR draft? About 9 months or so, probably. I think I forget.
Yeah, back in June.
Almost
so.
a year. So I'm coming up on a year. So coming up on a year. It's been a whirlwind for you. Obviously, it's been, you go from not knowing what's going on with an MLR draft to having an MLR draft to being drafted number 1 by the Jackals, to then the Jackals kind of closing up shop for a season, and then you get drafted again by Austin. Kind of walk us through what that craziness has been like to get drafted twice. First drafted twice.
Yeah, pretty hectic. June was a crazy month for me because I graduated college and then I got married, and then I got drafted. So like all of those things happened within the span of 3 weeks.
Obviously, the draft was the most
Um,
important thing, right?
no,
Oh, college.
definitely the
Sorry.
marriage.
Oh, yeah. That's right. For those of us that are married, we all know that it should be and will be always the number one choice.
When Morgan watches this podcast later,
She'll approve. She'll know. She said, Morgan, we know
definitely,
marriage is number one.
definitely. Yeah, so I mean, we were thinking about moving to Dallas for a few months, and then we had the U-Haul all packed up and ready to go, and then we get the news that we're not going to be able to go up there.
Yeah.
And then just a bunch of uncertainty just kind of sunk in, and we didn't know what was going to happen. Then the MLR said that another draft was going to come. Started talking to the league. I wanted to stay in Texas, stay close to family.
Yep.
And the AGs was at the top of my list, so everything worked out good. So
yeah. What was kind of the I guess what was the draw? I mean, obviously you being close to Houston, your family's close to Houston. What was the draw for the AGs at that particular time? And was the same kind of allure to Houston, part of your thought process?
Yeah, so Austin is a great city, first off.
Yes,
So
it is.
that was a huge attraction. Huge attraction for me and my wife. New coaching staff coming in, and we really liked what they were all about. Sammy and G, and I liked what the squad was. The squad is pretty much brand new this year. There's a lot of new faces.
Oh yeah.
So all of those things combined definitely just kind of attracted us here.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Let's go back a little bit and talk about your career leading up to obviously the AGs, and we'll talk a little bit about the season. But obviously you've been playing rugby for a long time, right? You grew up in California. You're a football player, but did you play rugby out in California, being as popular as it was out there? Or did you pick up rugby when you came to Texas?
No, yeah, I started out there. I was 11 or 12 when I first started playing rugby.
Yeah.
And I was tiny, like 90 pounds. I think I played scrum half like my first few years just because I was so small and needed to learn how to pass and all that. And then I moved out here to Texas when I was 16.
Mm-hmm.
So continued my rugby career here, and then I got a scholarship to go play for Life University out in Georgia.
Yeah. Life University, obviously one of the top programs historically. I mean, obviously since college rugby has been around in the United States, Life and Cal and Lindenwood and Arkansas State, big teams like that have done really well. What was the draw? Were there any other opportunities for you as a potential collegiate player from other rugby heavy universities?
Yeah, no, definitely. I met with the Ark State coach actually in Texas. We had some burritos and we just kind of talked about the possibility of going to Ark State. Yeah, definitely in Texas. And then I was thinking about going to Penn State as well. Yeah. Got accepted there, but that year was kind of the year that they burnt down the
clubhouse.
The clubhouse and a few things were going on over there, and I was just like, I don't know if I want to go to that program.
I forgot about that until you said that. I forgot that happened at Penn State. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. And I actually had a lot of friends go to Ark State, and I had a lot of friends at Life U, but ultimately the thing that drew me to Life U was, I flew out there, and Dan Payne kind of gave me like a personalized tour of the place and told me, what he could offer me and what the school would offer. So, that trip just made the difference.
That's awesome. And I believe you I believe if I remember seeing some photos right, you ended up playing against one of your current teammates who played for Ark State, Mr. Zinzan. This was posted like last week, I believe. You posted kind of a throwback of you attempting to make the tackle on Zinzan, or was it he attempting to make the tackle on you? And did it?
No, he was running with the ball.
So did you make that tackle?
Honestly, I have no idea what happened after that picture was taken because it was so long ago. I'm assuming I made the tackle on Zin.
Yeah. That's funny.
just because.
Yeah, just because you want to.
Yeah, it's probably put him in the mud.
Yeah, I think so. I took him down. You probably ended up stealing the ball from him right off of rucking over and
Yeah,
jack onto
something
the
like
ball.
that.
But
Definitely.
so going through your time, over at Life, you had an opportunity and you actually went down on a mission trip down to Argentina. Walk us through
Yes.
that. Playing rugby with some Argentinians, I would hope and I would assume while you were down there. Yeah.
Yeah, I wish. No. So a mission trip was never really on the table for me growing up. I never really thought about it until I was about 20. A lot of things just kind of changed in my life.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of my standards and things like, things that were, trying, that were actually making me happy. So I decided to go on a mission. And kind of what that entailed was I wasn't going to be playing rugby that whole time, which was tough for me.
Yeah.
And, being down there in Argentina, with the whole culture of rugby, Los Pumas and everything like that, like, it was tough, definitely. But no, it was great. Some of my companions probably at the beginning probably thought I was crazy because I had so much like pent up energy because I've been playing rugby my whole life, and then to just kind of
you had
stop
an
for
outlet.
2 years. Right. So I'm just like doing pull-ups in the apartment. Like, you're like, dude, it's time to go to bed.
So what was that? I mean, you take 2 years off. You then come back to the sport. What was that like? I mean, obviously it had to been. The sport changes so fast, and obviously every year it gets faster and faster and bigger and stronger. What was the 2-year hiatus when you came back to life again? Walk us through what that was like. Tell us kind of how you felt, what it felt that first time back out on the pitch.
One thing that I really noticed was the culture was a lot different in the locker room. When I first got to Life University as a freshman, and a sophomore, we're still kind of talking football culture in the locker room. Like the guys were pretty fresh to the game. A lot of guys had only been playing for a couple of years. And then when I got back, I'm in the locker room with all these new freshmen, incoming guys that had known the game and had been playing it since they were little, which is definitely a different thing here in America, but it's great for the sport.
Yeah.
So that was kind of new and that was cool. And then just on the pitch, I actually ended up breaking my hand my second week back.
Okay.
And it seems to kind of be a trend in the league right now. You take some time off and just like those extremities get hurt.
It's around the league. There's
yeah.
We have a few injuries that you can look at the team sheets, that people are missing. And so it's like, oh, okay, injuries here. And you look at all the teams around the league and there's injuries everywhere.
And especially in like their hands too. Yeah. Like it's a weird trend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause I broke my hand and then like I noticed that a lot of guys are hurting their hands coming back from a long break. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
It's an interesting analysis to look at. Some
no
doctor
idea.
needs to dive into that. Exactly. We're not going to. So that's for
definitely not. I don't know enough about it. But I broke my hand, and then I came back a few weeks later and we just kind of got right into it. And that team was really good. We ended up winning the national championship that year. So
well, you have not one but 2 national championships under your belt, if I remember correctly. So to win 2 national championships says a lot about the quality of play, for yourself and also your team. You played with quite a few players that are probably in MLR right now. And I don't. Did you and Michael play together, DeWall?
We played against each other. He played.
Sorry. He played at Lindenwood.
We played with each other for the All-Americans.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Sorry. Jeez. One of the I should have known. See, Michael's gonna get mad at me now that it said that he went and played his life when he played at Lindenwood with Wes and with Christian Rodriguez.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's interesting. Now, did you pursue, like at the end of your college career, had you pursued other routes outside of MLR? Did you look at going to play potentially over in Europe or anything, or even obviously being a Life, the 404 Academy that was there, Atlanta is kicked off last year. Was that something that was an interest to you as well? Just to stick in Atlanta, or did you want to come back home to Texas?
My wife and I knew that we kind of wanted to move back out to Texas, just because we wanted to be closer to family. Because I mean, both of our families are pretty spread out. I have a lot of family still in California. I have family here in Texas, some in Utah. She has family in North Carolina. So it was kind of like trying to be in a central location where everybody could get together at some point.
Yeah.
And we love Texas, it's awesome.
It's Texas.
Rightfully so. Yeah, exactly.
Everybody says why, and I said because it's Texas. Like that's just the reason you have to give. That you don't have to say anything else to it.
Yeah, Texas is awesome.
Yeah.
What else? So I had a job coming out of college. I was working for a company called 4Up, a golf software company out in Utah, but I was working remotely. So that was an option just to continue working for them.
Yeah.
And then I got a different job, started working for a company called Datumsure, a startup company. I actually still work for them right now.
Okay. We're allowed to plug other things on this show. We don't fight against it. So so that's something kind of unique. Like you're in a lucky position where you have kind of a, we'll call it part-time job that with your company that you're working with right now, but who's also letting you be a professional athlete at the same time. That's a pretty unique situation.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. The support system that I have from them. The CEO is actually going to be at this game on Saturday, the Texas Cup. So, yeah,
exciting. So are they a Texas-based company?
Yes.
See, that helps.
Definitely.
You're within a couple-hour drive of wherever if you needed to be. And then, of course, in the off season, you're not the only one. The other guys on the team. We know that there's a biltong company started by a couple guys on the team as with Robbie and Michael, like looking to expand that. That's exciting. Hugh Roach has got his thing going on. I know Mo's talking about doing some stuff. So it's good to hear that guys on the team are wanting to expand and start other businesses for eventually will be life after rugby, right? Because can't play forever. I mean, you can. It's just really hard once you get to be my age and older. So, but yeah. So I mean, let's talk a bit about the past couple of weeks. Obviously, new start of the season. We're lucky enough here in Texas that we do have fans in the stands. You had a big match on the 20. The opening day match. What the day that was? The 21st, I believe.
The 20th.
20th. That's right. Paul Oakenfold. Really close game with Utah. Came down to the wire, and then again another one with San Diego. Came down to the wire. Kind of walk us through what it's been like the first 2 weeks, and what the mindset is of the players right now.
Yeah, obviously it's tough to lose like that. By 3 points or less.
Twice.
It's
back-to-back weeks.
Twice.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, as you could see from Sunday's game, we're definitely improving and the boys are definitely meshing together a lot better. The locker room experience is great. Everybody gets along really well. The culture is good. So I think that has a lot to contribute to it.
Yeah. I think it's really good. I mean, you this past week, you were part of the MLR top 15, so team of the week at wing, but over the past 2 games you've played all 80 minutes. You're the only wing to do that. You're one of the few players to play. Actually, I think you are the only player to play all 160 minutes over. I think actually no, Sebastian played and Will McGee played, I think, are the other two. So you and Sebastian and Will are the only ones to play all 80 minutes in both matches. And then also kind of going like what you've been. When you're getting the ball in open field, you've got good space, 164 meters on 12 carries. And that, what is that, 13 meters a carry and 11 into contact and basically breaking tackles left and right, man. What do you attribute that to and kind of the success that you've had so far at the beginning of the season? No tries, but I think this week we have one coming up.
Don't jinx it.
No, I got faith. or try assist. We'll give you try assist. How about that?
Yeah, it's honestly coming from the boys, just setting me up on the outside. Like they're seeing the space and they're giving me the good ball. So all I have to do is run straight for the most part.
like a couple side steps here and there, right? You got to make sure you get a little
Every
juke here
once
and
in a
there,
while,
get the
yeah.
tackle breaks. It's interesting to see the style of play. It feels like the style is a bit more open, free flowing. I think last week I mentioned, Mac Mason. Really, I like the way that he controlled the match. I know we're kind of working with things with people being out with injuries. Zinni at fullback right now with a hand injury, as you said, and then Will slotting in there. The other, you play 11 right now. Do you have ambitions to play? I know in your past you're labeled as a wing/center. Do you feel as though 11, the wing is your spot, or you slot in at 13 or 12 in need be?
I'm probably best at playing back three.
Yeah.
So wing fullback. That's probably where I'm most comfortable as well. So if needed, I'll play center. Definitely, I'll play wherever. I think that's the mentality of anybody right now
Scrum
because
half
we're
too,
having
right?
a
Like
lot of
go back
people.
to it.
Yeah, flanker. Yeah, whatever. Put me in the pack.
There you go.
No, definitely not. No, I couldn't do that.
We'll let Wappa know that next time we talk to him.
No. We've already seen what the backs can do when they're put in the scrums, and it's not pretty. So
it's not too bad, not terrible. So that obviously this week coming up is a big week. A lot of good things going on. The environment around the matches are exciting. The fans in the stands is exciting, but this week's a little bit different, right? Texas Cup, like we are the holders of the cup. You're playing against what I'd probably consider what would be your hometown team, or the closest thing to a hometown team, since it wasn't really a team when we were there. But going into the week, what are some things that obviously you can't give away anything, and note that this does come out on Friday on audio and Saturday on video, so people may or may not be able to listen to it ahead of time. What are some things that you and the team are kind of looking forward to, coming up this week against Houston?
We're looking to build on last week, for starters, just because every week we've gotten better, and we're looking to build on our line speed and our pressure on defense and our connections.
Yeah.
And and we're kind of we're expecting it to be a big game just because it is the Texas Cup, and Houston is so close that their fans will probably make the drive up here. So it's going to be kind of a different atmosphere than what we're used to at home. But yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah,
we're excited more than anything.
You were talking about kind of saying like making those right connections. One of the things we've noticed in the past couple weeks and in the preseason has been, I mentioned a couple weeks back on the show, I felt as though the passes seemed to be 1 to 2 meters away from the space that you were supposed to be in, or people were, not you in particular, but like players were a meter or two away from the space that the pass was. Do you feel as though that that is the connection that was missing there? Do you feel as though because you guys are now playing more and more together, getting more and more used to how what the style of each other's passes are going to be, that those connections are starting to click a little bit better, that you're finding the right ball in the right space, to get kind of downhill running going on?
Yeah, I think it all comes down to knowing your roles. And I think the guys are starting to nail their roles more. And when they're more confident in that, then everything else just starts to click more.
Nice. Well, Connor, we're kind of wrapping up here and wanted to give you the opportunity to say hello to friends, family, loved ones, pitch another business you may want to work for in the future. But yeah, no, just really anything. We always give everybody a bit of time to just say hey to people that may be listening or watching. We'll obviously get this out through all social media and promote that way, but I'll leave it up to you now.
Yeah, I just want to say what's up to my family and all the homies that are going to be watching this at some point.
Homies.
And to my wife, I didn't mess up by saying the draft was the number one thing that was going on, because our marriage was definitely more important.
I was challenging you on that one too. She asked me to do that.
No, she did. I know.
I know. That's funny. Well, that's good. And we look forward to the match on Saturday. Do you have anything? Do you know of anything else going on? I'll let you, as the resident AG. What are some big things that are going on in the match on Saturday, or pre-match festivities? A band again?
Oh yeah, right. I think we have another concert going at 5:45. I believe that's starting.
Sounds about right.
And then I'm
Ti-
not too sure actually after
Oh man,
that.
tickets still on sale. You can go to agrugby.com. Get your
There you
ticket.
go. There
Texas,
you go.
it's Texas Cup week. There's a a lot of $2 beers. I think is happening again. Come on,
Yes.
that's the
Big promotion.
best deal in town right there. Go get your Carbach. It is I think they call it the Texas Cup, but it's sponsored by Carbach. So I'm wondering if it's just going to be called the Carbach Cup now. And that's kind of my thought. I don't know. Big armadillo in the middle of it, I think. So, well, Connor, we appreciate you coming on, taking the time out of your day and a work day today. I see. So, but taking the time out of the day to come on and chat with us. We really appreciate what you've been doing with the team. Obviously, we wish you nothing but the best to keep up the good work and to continue on. And, I guess see this path that a lot of younger athletes can look at. A lot of younger rugby players can say, I play in high school, I can go play in college and go play MLR and get drafted number one. Like you'll go down in the record book as the number one ever draft for MLR rugby. It's a pretty cool thing for people to look up and say, oh great, oh, and he's starting the first 2 matches of the season and doing well. So hopefully you can be a kind of a guiding light and a guiding star for some of these younger players that are just getting into the game that we all love.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Connor, appreciate you coming on. Connor Mooneyham, everybody.
Thanks, Dustin.
Appreciate it. Connor coming on to the podcast today. What a great guy. Good kid. I really like Connor. That was good stuff. Obviously, this week is the Texas Cup, the Carbach Cup, since it's sponsored by Carbach now. So it's the Carbach Cup, and Cup with a K.
Right.
Houston SaberCats coming into town. They just got destroyed by the Free Jacks last week. Put up a big old goose egg. How do you
after beating the Seawolves? That's weird.
Yeah, it's just really strange. They beat the Seawolves. They did really well. And I'm kind of excited for us because we've got the number 2 defense in the league right now. Like we've only given up, you talk about all these other matches that have been playing. We're only giving up like 4 tries every or 1 try every 40 minutes. Like that's a pretty solid defense right there. Again, second overall defense. We're not giving up a whole lot of points. So I'm kind of excited to see what's going to happen. I don't think the preseason match is anything to take away from this game. As you know, preseason is preseason, but I'm kind of looking forward to the match. What about you?
Definitely looking forward to it. I'm hoping Grant Cole, those guys make it in this weekend. Texas Rugby Monthly.
Shameless plug.
But shameless plug. Gotta love those guys, right? And
who's on that show? I don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is. It might be another Marine that I happen to
know.
But they're going to come in. They're going to feel positive about what they've been able to do in preseason. But like you said, you can't really base anything on preseason. And they're going to be hungry for their first win, the AGs, and I don't think the SaberCats are going to be embarrassed enough to come in here and do anything about it.
We're the current holders, so it's going to be stat wise, we're actually pretty even on stats. There's a lot of, we're both like 53-54% territory. We both about the same on possession as well. We don't, attacking wise, not the strongest attacking teams recently because we keep shooting ourselves in the foot. So that's going to be kind of interesting. I think it's going to be a good old Texas shootout.
And like I was saying, that quick ball stat from earlier, the 63%. If we can match that or make it even better, that pace will play a come, and it's going to require the forwards to either roll out or run through and let the ball go behind to our 5-8. But as that quick ball gets faster, you're going to see more width, and it's still early in the season, so hopefully those first 2 games got the rust off the hands and we start dropping the thing. and then we can score some points.
I agree. I think the things we got to look out for. Houston's scrummaging has been really good. They win about 94% of their their own scrums versus our 81. So that's a big thing that we need to keep in mind. But we also perform better in the line out. I think overall, Houston has been missing some key players recently, of course, as we have too. So the vet Roos, he's been out hurt, so don't know if he'll be back. Don't know who's going to be back for us. I hear whispers that some players are going to be back this week, and some players are going to be back, after week 4. So that'll be again, it's a long season, 16 games, long way to go. And you look at the tables, we're sitting there, we're sitting there, not, we're above Houston right now, so that's good.
Right.
No, we're not. Sorry.
We're not. We have 3 points. I think they have 4.
Yeah. I messed that up. So they've got 4. We've got 3. So, but yeah, so it's going to be close. I think that, they're coming into our house, so I think it's going to be a big old show. They're going to have a lot of fans, and I think we're gonna pull off the win.
Yeah, the environment's been great. If you don't have someone that you can bring that knows rugby, bring someone that doesn't know anything about it. We've been doing our best to explain it. The Go Gronies have actually been putting out sponsored ads on my Instagram with the sideline announcer. Right, they're trying to explain the game to me. It's
inundated.
Right, but it's what it needs. And so you are seeing a great amount of effort from the marketing team there for the AGs to explain the newness of it all, the novelty of the sport to new fans. And we have to keep doing that. So keep bringing people. We're looking forward to seeing you out there when you can get out there. Are you going to be there this weekend?
Well, it's going to be a game time decision.
Right to that.
Right.
Well, everybody's looking forward to seeing you, man. I know that.
I know. I'm looking forward to it as well.
I bet.
So, hey,
Bradley, get a little carbach.
Yeah, I know, right? Appreciate you coming on. For those of you listening, if you want to watch us, don't forget to follow our YouTube channel. That's always a good place to go and watch our pretty faces. And these are pretty faces. We're really pretty.
Try.
We try. If you're watching us on YouTube, follow us on all your podcast channels, wherever it may be. On Instagram, you can follow us, Austin Rugby Supporters. Facebook is the same way. That's Bradley Yandle. Thanks for joining us again, man. Appreciate it. Always a pleasure to have you on. I'm Dustin Zerrer. Until next time, we'll see you on the pitch.